Für die gute Laune.
How is the story that you can?
First approach that I had with Armenia was with Anna Gargarian. She invited me to do a piece about the communication with extraterrestrial life. So we did a sound installation in Orgov, right at the radio telescope. Yeah, that was the first time I went there, and therefore the first approach, and yeah, it was basically like that. And as I said before, ever since we kept on working. That specific facility, as many other things in Armenia, as you may know better than I, is abandoned, and so it is like a still life in a way. So I decided to develop a concept on how to give some, let's say, have to give it some life, or have to give it the chance to speak again. So what I ended up doing was chance that this kind of projects have to of changing a bit the social environment. It was a very beautiful process to experience, and at the end, all the people from the surroundings, they knew about it, and they went there, and they were very kind of shocked / fascinated about the fact that I was happening there, because they know the place just the way it is, as an abandoned thing. It might be even since that time that someone told me about Gyumri. It's absolutely different. Talking in terms of sound as well, Gyumri is very quiet. Yeah, Anush contacted me a year prior the project started. She told me about Gyumri, about the importance of it, and why she decided to do it there. And I felt immediately very fascinated, and I was very astonished about the beauty of the fountain. So I started making some research back on the day, and I knew since the very beginning that I would like to work with it. At the very first time, the very first moment, it was mainly because of the aesthetics of the fountain itself, plus knowing that it was a fountain. Now there is something very philosophical about it, so to me everything made sense. So when you start this dialogue, this conversation, you can go through many different topics, and without leaving let's say, like, the main idea, which to me it was very clear, is to give the fountain a voice again. So because it is a source, right? A fountain is a source. It provides you with something. So in water is one of the most vivid things on our planet, and actually water determines our entire history as humankind. So because we're going always there, we're supposed to be a water source, or water determining populations. So a water fountain, like, to the aesthetics, right, or to aestheticize the source of water, is something absolutely poetic. So, and to work with an abandoned fountain, you put really a layer of poetry over another one. So to me it was extremely interesting to work on that, and I tried to keep it in this kind of metaphysical perspective, or let's say, character. And so I thought about the name, like summoning the fountain, right? like calling, like evoking it from a more spiritual way through that kind of ritual, because it looked from the outside very ritualistic in a way, because it was a circle. The fountain is, right, was surrounded by the people, but as you said, it was a gathering, right? So it was kind of evoking the past as well, because people used to get there together, and it was happening again. And I think that is one of the most important substances and columns in the arts that through their communicational power, right, they can manage to do something like that, to bring people together and to bring all those memories back, but also to envision the future in a more positive way. I think it would be very disrespectful to, in a way, damage it or not to pay honor to the life of it as such.
Yeah.
So to try to develop a dialectic, a discourse around it. So I remember that the local people were very intrigued about what we were doing, but we were very welcome at the same time. Yeah, I think there was a mutual respect. So the entire development was interesting at the same time because it was not easy. I mean,
When I came here, I don't understand the lyrics. I was just listening to this, looking at what I do. Just a soundtrack of Russian sound.
whether it's giving or to try to understand the past, the history of the spot, of the place. I think it's a heavy challenge. It's a big one because on the one hand you have to respect the essence of it, the investigation, so to speak, the field research that we did and that we were very committed to. You can also develop something for the sake of the structure of the building, of the site per se. Yeah, there was a dramaturgical aspect in it, so we had some chapters. So, and I remember that. I remember when people felt kind of cold. Die Gräfestraße, right? They were there. They got the signal, the invitation, so to speak. Sie müssen nach der Brücke, also da kommt die Admiralbrücke, da gehen Sie rechts rein und dann links. And we're participating at some point. It was completely irrelevant who were, let's say, the actual performers and who were the audience. At some point they were mixed. In the case of Gyumri, the locations, the sites you're talking about, most of them are abandoned, and I think it is very related to this very philosophical point of view of the purpose of a thing. So what, for sure, we could read about the history and what were they built in the first place, but I think it's to us to determine how are they gonna be, how are they gonna coexist. There is for sure something about the time there, because you never get the feeling that the time is dynamic there, or that it goes in a very specific direction. It feels very bubbly. So I don't know if if time is just, if time has stopped there, or if it's anachronic or what, but there is something very specific about the progress of time in there for sure. I found it really like a